David will be delivering our opening perspective. And with that, David, I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you. I appreciate that so much. How you doing, everybody? My name is David Anixtein. I want to give you a quick background. My mother was a Black Southern woman. My father was a white Jewish man from Brooklyn. So it was kind of funny. I was raised in Brooklyn, and my father's family was actually prejudiced, so I never got to meet any of my Jewish relatives. And it's kind of funny, just to share this with you before I start my story, is that it's kind of crazy because my father was probably one of the most prejudiced people that I know. But anyway, we'll push on from there. Here's my story that I want to share with you guys. I grew up, when I was younger, I grew up in a really, really great community. Like, people had money, a very affluent community. It was Prospect Park South in Brooklyn. And it was really funny because when I was a little kid, everybody thought I was so cute. But what started to happen as I got bigger, and I developed into a Black teenager and a Black man, my whole neighborhood kind of started to alienate me. I'm going to tell you a quick story. There was a lady named Mrs. Diamond who lived a few doors down from me. I know her since I was born, basically. Well, when I was about 13 years old, I'm coming up the block, and I know where Miss Diamond lives because she lives on the same side of the street as I live on. So I know where she lives. So Miss Diamond sees me coming the other way, and I'm walking this way. And what she did is she looked up and noticed me. And she immediately crossed over to the other side of the street. Now, in my mind, I'm like, why would she do that? I know where she lives. So what happened is as she got closer to me, and then she's like, oh my God, oh, hi, David. And I could really see where she was visibly shaken and almost scared. And for a minute, I didn't understand it. But as I got to get older, I did. I'm like, hey, Miss Diamond, how you doing? So she comes back over to my side of the street. And she's like, oh, my God, David, hey, how's everything going? And then, of course, she went into her home. Now, what had occurred, she saw a Black guy coming down the block, and she got scared. So what she did was she crossed over to the other side of the street. Now, she didn't feel comfortable with coming back over to that side of the street until she realized that it was me, someone she knew since I was born. But when she saw me at a distance, what she saw was a Black person. She didn't see the person that she knew since I was born. So what that ended up doing, it ended up frightening her. So the moral to that story was I couldn't understand why she was so frightened of me because I knew her my whole life, and why she had such emotions pent up inside of her that she was scared of Black people in that type of way that she would completely avoid another Black person. The second story I want to share with you guys is when we were about 13, 14 years old, there was a group of us that all hung out in Brooklyn. And in Brooklyn, New York, we walked everywhere. We didn't take the bus. We didn't get on the train because we just literally walked everywhere. So Bill Cosby and Sidney Poitier had just made that movie called Let's Do It Again. And it was a big deal to us when we were kids. That was a Black movie. It was just a really big deal to us. So we knew they were coming down to this recording studio that was on Avenue M in Brooklyn. So me and my friends were like, man, we're going to go down here because, we just want to meet these brothers. They were like heroes to us when we were kids. So I'm like, okay. So me and my friends set out. Now, I want to tell you, we lived in Flatbush. Avenue M is kind of almost going up towards Coney Island. So we walked that whole distance. We're talking probably 4.5 miles in one direction. So anyway, we get up there and we get over to the recording studio and we're trying to figure out how to get in. Now, we knew we couldn't get in. We're 4 kids from the Black neighborhood. We knew we couldn't get in. So we kind of snuck in. There was a way that you could sneak in. So we snuck into the studio and we got caught by the security guard. So the security guard was a black man, and we were like, hey, you know, we were just sneaking in. We wanted to meet Bill Cosby and Sidney Poitier. So the guy was like, all right, come on. Y'all snuck in here, you know. It's not like I'm calling the police on you guys. Come on, I'm gonna take you to go meet them. So imagine us as kids. We were just you know, it was like meeting Michael Jackson to us and you know, or somebody like that. It was just incredible. So we're all excited, we're all happy. And I'll never forget, he brings us to where Bill Cosby and Sidney Poitier was, and he introduced us. He's like, yeah, I caught these kids breaking in, but they just really wanted to meet you guys. So I brought them over here to meet you. And Sidney was the nicest person in the world. He was like, you know, you guys want autographs, just talking to us so nice and just making us feel like, you know, like we're welcome and it's good to see you, little brothers, and this is incredible. And well, Bill Cosby turned around and he was like, you guys had the nerve to break in here. And he really laid into us, like this is the problem. You guys out here breaking in. You should be doing something more constructive with your life. I mean, just went in on us really bad. And it was shocking. So what happened was, I'll never forget, after he went in on us, you know, the security guard escorted us out. We walked home. And when we walked that 4 miles home, that was like the longest walk we had ever had in our lives, because someone who we looked up to just rained down on us so hard. And I'll never forget how depressed all of us were going back home on that long journey. And this was someone that we had looked up to like he was our hero. And he just deflated us so quickly and just took so much away from us and our spirit and everything. So I just wanted to share those two stories with you. They're from my childhood. These were two things that impacted me years later. And it was what I wanted to share with you guys, and take from it what you want. And to me, I just wanted to show that you never know where negativity is going to come from. It can come from your own. You never know where prejudice is going to come from. It can come from people that knew you since you were born. And that's what I had to share with you guys today. Thanks a lot. I appreciate everybody for listening. And I appreciate you guys so much. And I've enjoyed this group tremendously.